Hey y'all, today I'm in downtown Waco, Texas, standing at a place that was tied to one of the most brutal and darkest moments in American history. This is the site where in 1916, a 17-year-old black teenager named Jesse Washington was tortured and lynched in front of thousands of people. This event became known as the Waco Horror, and today I'm taking you to the real life locations, what they look like today and where it all happened, and also to remember the victim, Jesse Washington. Well, I made it to a town south of Waco. I'm here in Robinson, Texas, and back in the day there was, Jesse Washington was a farm laborer, and obviously not here. This is as close to a farm as I can get back then, but somewhere in this town, Jesse was a farm laborer, and people said he could be illiterate, is possibly mentally disabled, but at one time Jesse was working here. It was in May of 1916, and Jesse's employer's wife, whose name was Lucy, was found murdered, and it was almost immediately that Jesse Washington was accused and arrested. And after days of interrogation, they got him to basically sign a confession with an X. And like I said, he was mentally disabled from the reports, so he may not even have known what he signed. He probably didn't, but they took it as, oh, he confessed, boom. Folks, next I was going to bring you to the McLennan Courthouse, which is still here today in Waco. It is where Jesse had his one-day trial. Unfortunately, there is the Waco Christmas parade today, and the entire street is blocked off, and I cannot get anywhere near there. I tried. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go to Google Maps, and I'll show you together, and we'll discuss what happened and where exactly it happened. And to Google Maps we go. So there's an interrogation for about 1 week, and then afterwards, Jesse Washington is brought right back here to Waco to the McLennan County Courthouse for his one-day trial. The jury, all white, deliberated for just 4 minutes. 4 minutes to decide the 17-year-old's fate. Right after that verdict was read, the courtroom exploded into violence. Now let's head to the alleyway behind the courthouse, because this is where our story continues. Moments after the guilty verdict, a mob of white citizens seized Jesse Washington, tied a chain around his waist and neck, and dragged him out of the back of the courthouse down this alleyway. They hauled him down the alleyway, through the streets of Waco, and took him right to City Hall. We made it back to City Hall, and right here in front of us, the square, Heritage Square. This is where everything went down. And right here in front of City Hall, the Waco Horror, the lynching of Jesse Washington. I'm not going to read all of it because that's what we're discussing in this video, but the marker's right here where it happened. Right here. A bonfire was already prepared by the local citizens. Jesse Washington was beaten, stabbed, mutilated, and hoisted over the flames, which could have been right where this Christmas tree is today. Poor Jesse was lowered into the fire, raised back out, then lowered again, over and over and over. Now the sick thing is about this, and it kind of reminds me of like the gladiators in the Colosseum back in the day. I don't know why, I guess just for people thought it was entertainment back then, but witnesses estimate that there was at least 10 to 15,000 people here. Women, children, leaders in the community, even officers, law enforcement officers, came here to witness what was going on, and nobody did anything. It was literally like entertainment to them. Believe it or not, photographers even sold postcards of the lynching that people can buy. And once everything was said and done, Jesse was long gone. His body was dragged through the town afterward. If you think about it, this is not just violence. This was really a public ritual of terror, if you will. Now, as you can imagine, this shocked the rest of the nation. It was common, unfortunately, down here in the South in that time, but there was actually an investigator sent down to the town of Waco here and published a full report with the horrifying photographs that were taken. And thankfully, this very investigation started the anti-lynching movement. Later on, civil rights leaders would demand anti-lynching laws be put into place. And then for the town of Waco, well, it was kind of quietly buried for decades, the story of what happened here. If you come to 300 Austin Avenue here, in front of City Hall, you'll see this historical marker. It was placed here in 2023, 107 years after the lynching. There's actually footage of when this marker was dedicated. I'm gonna throw in for you now. And I thought it was really cool. One of Jesse Washington's descendants actually showed up here. And it was a very nice memorial that they had when they placed this. But it's kind of felt like the town of Waco not forgetting what happened after decades of them trying to sweep it under the rug, you know, kind of forget the past. But now they accepted it, they apologized for what happened, and we can move forward.
Following a brief trial and after 4 minutes of jury deliberation, Washington was convicted of murder and sentenced to death. Immediately, he was seized by a horde of onlookers and dragged several blocks to City Hall, where he was beaten, stabbed, hanged, mutilated, and burned to death as thousands cheered.
Beautiful. What a day. What a day. This is the day that the Lord has made. I don't know about you all, but I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it.
Now, obviously, I cannot throw in the graphic photos. I'm trying to, in my head, line up the photos of, you know, where it all happened and what this looks like today. I know this story is not easy to hear, but it did happen in broad daylight. 10,000, 15,000 people came out to see this horrible tragedy. And we must not forget events like this. Thank you for joining me and remembering the life of Jesse Washington. These events happened more than they should have ever happened, but they did. And since I'm in this area, I wanted to come out and pay my respects and remember him. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.